Hey guys, what's up? It's Sophie here from Nerfers 101.
Hey guys, it's Aaronesser.
Yeah, I'm joined with a very special guest today for an exclusive interview. So I got a couple awesome questions that we're going to ask you. Some of these have been actually sent in by Nerf community members on Instagram.
Okay.
So we're really excited. So we'll dive right in here. So starting
Awesome.
off with
Yeah, I'm excited to answer them. Let's do this.
Yep. Okay. So what is your favorite Nerf blaster?
Favorite Nerf blaster? Big Bad Bow.
Oh, really?
Without a doubt, yeah. Yeah, when I was younger, we used to have 12 of them in the house at a time. So, and to this day, it's still my favorite. Yeah, without a doubt. That's what got me into Nerf. So.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Do you prefer the term gun or blaster?
I make Call of Duty videos. Nerf means Call of Duty videos. So whenever we're doing that, whenever I shoot that type of video, I'll call it a gun because I actually want it to focus more about Call of Duty rather than the Nerf aspect of it. But when I'm shooting like any other type of video, I'll generally call it a blaster. So if you go to a Nerf event or like out in public or anything like that, I would say call it a blaster. You can call it a gun if you're doing it some other sort of purpose.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does.
Okay.
A lot of people just have really mixed opinions on that. So.
Okay.
Have you ever?
I really don't care what you call it, but
yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, it's not really a huge issue, but some people get in heated debates.
No.
Have you ever attended a hosted Nerf war?
I actually haven't.
Oh, really?
No, it's something that I want to do in the future, but I've just had like Nerf wars with just me and my buddies growing up.
Yeah.
My whole life been doing that, but I've never actually went to an official event. In the next year, I would like to, probably hopefully a couple. I did a video this year with Lord Draconical, and he's like, man, you should come out to an HBZ or an NVZ event with me. And I was like, yeah, totally, I would love to. So I hope to do something like that maybe a couple times this year. So I will, but I haven't yet.
That's awesome. All right, so what inspired you to start making Nerf videos or kind of your Call of Duty Nerf videos? Like, what was the inspiration behind that?
I grew up playing with Nerf guns, mostly with the Big Bad Bow, and I'd always wanted to make videos, specifically YouTube videos, and make short films and whatnot. So I invited my buddy over one day, and I was like, hey, let's make a video. And I was like, let's just shoot a video with the Nerf guns. We just saw them, and we had a Nerf war the day before. So we just shot a random video, and within a couple months, it had like several thousand views. And I was like, what the heck? Okay. So then I started like checking online, and there's this whole Nerf niche on YouTube. And I really didn't make much for several years, but fast forward like 3 or 4 years later, I saw a first-person video by the YouTuber Devin Supertramp, and he made a real-life Halo video. And I was like, I wonder if I could do something like that, the first-person video, but do it with Nerf guns. I think that would be a lot of fun. I love Nerf guns. It would be kind of the same sort of video. And so that summer, I ended up making a video, and that was just over 2 years ago. And ever since then, I've just been making them ever since.
That's really
So a mix of just a passion of love doing it, kind of a fluke, Devin Supertramp, seeing that there was this niche out there, and it all kind of just, over time, just came together.
Yeah, that's really cool. So going back to the first question, what is your least favorite Nerf blaster, if you have one?
My least favorite Nerf blaster. Whenever someone asks me that, I say the one that jams on me when we're in the middle of filming. Yeah. Whichever one that is just the worst. You're in the middle of shooting, and then you have to like spend a minute or two to take it out of the magazine or whatever, and it just wastes so much time. If I had to actually pick one though, there's a couple that really bother me. Any of the ones where you can only put one dart in at a time, and you got to prime it back and fire it one at a time. So an example that comes to mind would be something like the Ion Fire. I'm not a fan of the Ion Fire because it only shoots one. It only shoots one at a time. I'd much rather have something like the Triad or something where you can shoot 3 in a row, and it's a smaller blaster. So.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
What are your thoughts on modifying Nerf blasters? Would you ever? What do you think about them?
I think it's cool. I've actually done a little bit of it myself.
Yeah.
I've painted a Vulcan for one of my videos, and then I recently modified a hammer shot, which I mostly just painted, and then I just put an orange ModWorks kit in it. So I think it's fun. I think it's a pretty cool hobby. It's not something that I'm super passionate about, but something that I definitely do want to get into more a little bit. Not like a ton, but do it just on the side here and there just for fun. So, yeah, I think people should do it more. I think it's a fun hobby. Why not? Go ahead. I think they look cool in videos too. If you can make a Nerf blaster look cooler, then for like my stance of like making films and whatnot, like that's so awesome. Make it as cool as you can, right? Make it look as awesome as you can.
Definitely. Especially for Call of Duty, you know.
Yeah, if I can make a Nerf blaster look like an actual Call of Duty gun, then like that's amazing.
Yeah.
People will love seeing that, and I'll love making it or even just having it in a video. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of have a guess as to the answer, but if you can remember, what was one of your first Nerf blasters?
First Nerf blasters, that would have to be the Big Bad Bow for sure. My mom actually went to a Walmart just in town, and she found them on sale for $10 a piece. So she bought 120 of them. And then we had those for probably like 5 to 10 years, and we would get like 4 and 4, sometimes even all 12 of them, going 6 on 6 at a time. So, and then other than that, my mom also once found a huge Nerf lot at a garage sale, and we had like probably 10 or 20 more that were just like in a big bin that we would like go through and fight with. Don't really know any of the names because they were super old ones, and they would be like probably like 10, 15 years ago. So I don't remember any of the names. But the newest blaster that I got when I really started getting back into Nerf was the Centurion. Someone bought me a Centurion for my birthday just over 2 years ago. And I thought that was pretty cool. The Centurion looks pretty awesome just because it's so big. So I'd like put it up on my shelf, and it was just like a prop sitting on my bookshelf or whatnot.
Yeah, that's kind of funny because that's arguably one of the worst. Like when I've interviewed other people, that's their least favorite.
Yeah.
So that's funny.
Least favorite. I agree. It doesn't work that well. It's such a waste of space. But again, if we're looking at the cosmetics and the way it looks, I think it just looks super cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
that's how I like base my.
It's just a cool gun to have on yourself. You know what I mean? Like on this wall behind me, it looks cool to have hanging on the wall. Doesn't mean you're actually ever going to use it for anything, but it's just a prop. It looks cool. It looks cool.
So if you have any guess, like what around is your arsenal count at? Like a rough estimate.
Just over 200. Yeah, I did a count about a month ago.
Nice. Yeah. Why do you Nerf? So like obviously for your YouTube, but a little bit more specifically, especially at like your older age. This is a question that I kind of take personally because I'm a little bit older too. So like, why are you still involved in Nerf? What about Nerf attracts you so much? You know what I mean?
Why do you Nerf? Probably Nerf because I'm a big fan of any sort of thing that has to do with guns or with shooting or anything that has to do with some sort of guns or shooting or first person, anything like that. Again, I used to be a big fan of Big Bad Bows when I was a kid. Used to play with those all the time. Grew up playing first person shooter video games. Big fan of paintball. I still play paintball all the time. I love paintball. And I think Nerf fits in all those categories, but it's a very simple, very clean, compared to something like paintball. It's very affordable and cheap, and it's something that everyone can do and everyone can relate to. So I could, for like my channel, I could do like paintball meets Call of Duty, but the audience that would watch that would be so much smaller than the Nerf meets Call of Duty. So my audience is mostly younger kids because Nerf is sometimes known as a kid toy. Definitely. But at any point, everyone's had a Nerf gun. Like there's older guys my age, people even older than me, people younger than me. Everyone has had a Nerf gun. If they're a parent, their kids have a Nerf gun. If you don't even have a Nerf gun, like maybe you're 10 years old, you don't have a Nerf gun, your buddy has a Nerf gun. So everyone, Nerf is just such a big product in the world that everyone has used it and seen it. So at least they can relate to it. Either, oh, I've had that gun, or I want that gun, or I remember that gun. So it's a lot more easier to relate to. And in regards of shooting videos and whatnot, it's very simple and very clean and affordable compared to something else, such as prop guns that you would need like some sort of like a warrant or something like that to own or to use on like a film set or something. And then compared to paintball, it's just so much cleaner and cheaper.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
And it's just fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
And safe as well.
What would you say to people who are a little bit older and are kind of interested in Nerf, but they feel like it's like a childish toy, like kind of piggybacking on the last question that I asked, but just like, what would you say to people who are a little bit older?
To someone who is older, I would just say don't worry about it. Don't really care what people think. That's definitely something that I've struggled with as well. It's like, oh, like when I really started doing this full time, I was like 22 and now I'm 23. So I'm like, I'm 22, 23 years old, like using Nerf guns to like make a living. That's kind of ridiculous, kind of childish, but I think you just got to own it and be okay with it. And again, realize that it's fun and safe, and everyone thinks it's cool and okay. Like pretty much anyone that has heard or seen what I've done has been like, oh, that's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like no one ever is like, oh, that's so stupid. Aren't you in your 20s? Like you're an idiot. You know what I mean? Like no one has ever said that to me. So I don't think you have to worry about something like that at all. And just realize that it's a fun and safe thing to do compared to something like paintball. Like for me to go buy a paintball marker would like at minimal would probably cost me $20. Would minimal cost me $200. Yeah. And like that's the cheapest of the cheapest, and every time to go out to play would cost you like $40 to $50. When I can go buy a Nerf blast, and hopefully you can use it over and over again, and it's fun and safe, and everyone of all ages can use it. So thanks for having me. Happy to be part of this. No problem. I think Nerf is awesome, and I think it's a good company, good product. So it's always cool to find other people that like it as well.
Thank you so much.